Shalom, shalom, Yashala. Another quick video giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash. Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be like most high will. Said he's shortened the time for elect's sake, and the time to elect, and the end of the world is here. Prophecies have been fulfilled. This is a little speech, a 40-minute. Of course, I'm going to just play a small clip of it. But it says Malcolm X in Los Angeles in 1962, who taught you to hate, and that's what he says in Who Taught You to Hate Yourself. It was a full speech. And, they I don't know if he was paid off, but, he had been on several interviews, and, highly, he got a street name and everything. So, some's behind it. But anyway, in this particular small portion of this video, he's saying that regardless of religion, we should come together, for the cause, for the means of, fighting oppression, that all black people should come together, fighting oppression, regardless of religion. And he said something like, Jesus, which is not his name. So that's ignorant on his part. And, you got these jail religions too. Like if you watched his movie, which a lot of us did, I used to be into Muslim stuff and really never got anything out of it, I was still thirsty for fulfillment of my spirit, and that's in the scriptures, till I came into the truth. But, yeah, and they got, so he read the whole dictionary, he said, and, hey, the truth is not in the dictionary. I mean, you could find some things in there. You can learn from different sources and kind of gather information and try. And you could talk a good speech. You could gain a lot of knowledge, but that don't mean you got the truth. It even says in the scriptures that knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. So, the true love is to return back to the Most High. The true edification, charity, comes from the men teaching the truth of this Bible that comes from the heavens in the spirit of Yahweh Yahushai. Ba'ashem Rakakadash, we always say, in the Holy Spirit. Now, I'll just play a little bit of it.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have been taught to say thanks to Allah. And that's what Jesus said. Jesus called on Allah. He said, Allah, 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 Sabachthani. I believe what...
That's not in the Bible. Allah just means power anyway. If we go back to the gods of the earth, it's Allahayim. So Allah is not a god. It just means power.
What's good for Jesus is good for you.
He kind of mocked,
Allah was good enough for Jesus to call upon. I think he should be good enough for you to call upon. Since the so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us, I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity, despite religious, political, economic, or educational, or social differences.
See? And that's what IUIC and some of those other camps that's trying to come together, for these causes, to join blacks, and the power of, it's all about that blackism stuff, man. And that the Bible doesn't teach that. It actually teaches that we're Israelites, and that to return back to the Most High. And this is the time that, around where Abba Bivens was coming up on the scene. So I think, and they put this time Martin Luther King came up on the scene. So I think, they paid these people off because they knew the truth was coming out. Um, but there's all kind of Muslims. I mean, of course, now that there's camps doing different things, they're gonna say that about the Israelites. But regardless, there's only one way. Um, one it says be of one accord, one mind, one baptism, one faith, and so forth. So there's no coming together with different, you know, different religion. That basically that coexist stuff comes from the devil, man. America even teaches that on some kind of level. Um, so let me see. I was just watching Apostle Gabar's. Um, and like I said, this is a lot of this stuff is I mean, this is some worldly stuff. I mean, I've read the book of Elijah Muhammad. I think it's called The Black Man. It's been so long. It's basically the book for the black man or something. And all it is asking for rights and equality. And the Bible doesn't teach equality when it comes to Israelites. It doesn't even teach black unity in the Bible. Um, Let me get that one accord. One accord, King James Version. It says Philippians 2:1. Um, Let me go to 8. No. One baptism, King James Version. It says Ephesians 4:5. Um, Let me go to there. First, verse 4. There is one body and one spirit, even as you are called in one hope for your calling. Of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. Um, get that one accord right quick. Be of one accord, King James Version. Uh, Come on, man. Come on, man. Be of one accord, King James Version. Philippians 2, where it says be like minded. Come on, man. Select. Let me see. There we go, man. Same love. Philippians 2, verse 2 through 4. Fulfill ye my joy that ye be like minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem other better than themselves. So be of one mind, one accord. And Most High didn't say that we're going to take over by coming all together. And I mean, this is a spiritual army. It's not a physical army of man's way to show. Because even with Malcolm X, he said in this speech, in that portion of the video, if you heard it, he said, coming together for, regardless of religion and background, what have you. And he also said, hey, I just, uh, dang, I lost what I was about to say. I mean, I lost what I was thinking to say. But yeah, he said that we to all come together and yeah, I lost my point, man. Anyway, like I was saying, the Most High didn't call for all us to come together, all come together, you know. And what are we gonna do when we all come together? Like to fight to overcome this oppression. We don't have no military. We don't have no money, no power system, no treasury department. We don't have any construct, coming together. If anything, it's just speeches, dialogue, protest a little bit. That never changed anything. It's not gonna change anything today. And Most High said that you're not gonna be redeemed with money or any kind of um, you know coming together, in a multitude, you know. And this is the fashion. This is part of the code of personality. Personality. This is a fashion that's set up on the earth. To sway and persuade. Even Farrakhan. I mean, going to him. I mean, he said he admitted that the so-called. Oh yeah, in the movie they showed a part where a portion of the movie played of Malcolm X movie played by Denzel Washington. He said, that the Son of God was a black man. He used the name Jesus, which we don't use. We know his name is Yahweh Shai. He said he's a Negro. And he said it was quoted by Native American brothers, which are Gadites. So they know the truth, And even Farrakhan said it out of his own mouth, and he was trying to get a black and Latino Million Man March, which never happened. But how can you, I mean, a lot of times they quote the Bible. I mean, that's a whole different to them. That's a whole different religion. You can't be part of two religions, man. I mean, people could do what they want to in America. Do as thou will, man. But in the spirit that's according to the word and the truth and the Most High and His Son, you can't be a part of two sects of religion, man. And I just read that in a previous video. They say, "How can two walk lest they agree?" Let me get that. How can two walk lest they agree? King James Version. Now they might say, well, we agree that we all need to come together, and because this is, the cause of black people. This is not gonna stop like black people getting shot by the cops. It's not gonna stop the oppression. This is not gonna stop, violence in black communities. It's not gonna happen. This attempt has been tried before with different power structures. In the 80s, they had all kind of. They had the Black Panther Party. They had the Black Panthers. They had the Brown Beret. They even had the Northern Kingdom involved. We try to do it through conscious hip hop. We try to do it through the Gangster Disciples and all those things that was against the government. Hell, even Crips and Blood was a form of resistance against the government, organizations against the government. Five Percenters. You had the vice lords and all that. You had and that never came to nothing, man. all it came to is, drugs in the community and gangism in the community. Because Esau, no, I mean, all he had to do is drop a bomb in the neighborhood. What I mean by that is another tactic, a philosophical, crafty tactic, and Jake fall for it, man. I mean, it's one thing being awake, but when your back is against the wall, and and you don't have no power, then that's what is most effective. It says, Amos 3:3. It says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" Man, you know. Definition of mammon.
Here's the definition
Mammon.
of mammon. Wealth,
It
regarded
said
as an
wealth
evil
regarded
influence
as an
or false
evil
object of
influence
worship
or a
and
false
devotion.
object.
It was taken by medieval writers
Come
as
on,
the name
man.
of the
I don't
devil
want
of
to hear that, man.
covetousness and revived in this sense.
It says wealth regarded as an evil influence, false object of worship and devotion. It was taken by the medieval writers as the name of the devil of covetousness and revived in a sense by Milton. Biblical definition: mammon, term of riches often used to describe the debasing influence of material wealth. See, and these people doing this, they got wealth and they're trying to do it. They're trying to get redeemed by. This is a man's. They're using a man's way. You know what I'm saying, to exercise this so-called power. And the Most High said, "This is if it be a man, it's gonna come and not. If it be of him, it shall no man could overthrow it." Basically, paraphrasing. But this is of man, man, because Most High said we're not gonna be redeemed with money. The only way these people are coming together in this fashion as a multitude to try to get all the black people together in black communities is what they have to have a lot of money. Because Jake ain't really going to be involved with nothing on that level to where they persuaded in that multitude, in their way of a multitude across the world unless it got to do with money. It says biblical term of riches often used to describe the debasing influence of material wealth. The term was used by, it says Jesus, but in his famous sermon on the Mount, and also appears in the Gospel according to Luke. It said medieval writers commonly interpreted it as an evil demon or god, man. So what does it say? You can't serve God and mammon. Can't serve God and mammon, King James Version. They changing this algorithm stuff, man. It says Matthew 6:24, you cannot serve God and mammon. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You can't serve God and mammon. So this is spiritual war. This is spiritual treasures that we're building up a spiritual house. It has nothing to do with anything of mammon, which I just read. They got to do with wealth and riches, and which is, even us knowing about community goes back to Berith, Baal Berith, the community God. It has nothing to do with the Bible. And like I said, all these fashions that have that label black, like Black Lives Matter, black communities, black power, and all that stuff is Americanized. Because when a lot of people involved with black power, they didn't know about that we ruled Europe 1,000 years. They didn't know about our history. Some of our people did, about the Moors and all that, which go back to being Israelites. They didn't teach that. They were focused on what Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, people like Rosa Parks, Shirley something, I forget her name, Black Panther Party, Angela Davis, Huey Newton, you know, and at the time they seemed strong, and and of course anybody can make good points, man. I mean, you could, you know, you could say some good things for your people, you know. Stop the violence. We had that movement. Um, you know, certain things in hip hop that we kind of had a voice with and used, but that came to naught, you know. And then they're gonna try to connect this with Kamala Harris and some of these black politicians that are not for the Most High. These black politicians have never been in. They into witchcraft now. They're not with, you know. You're not gonna overtake your oppressor and the so-called white man in this fashion, man, of coming and trying to come together with, you know, with these black sources, um, you know, and to disregard religion and come together anyway, you know. Nah, and if they try to do that to where, you know, they get some what do you call it, so-called positive results, it's gonna then it's gonna move into politics, and then they're gonna be trying to get it funded by Kamala Harris herself or Oprah, and they're witches, man. A lot of our people, most of our people, and especially when they're dealing with politics in the industry, they're witches and warlocks, man. You know, even in these black fraternities, these black colleges and black churches, they all part of the same thread, man. So how are you gonna build on that foundation? And it talks about building the foundation of Yahweh Shai. I'll get that as a close. And it can't be built on Jesus. It can't be built on Allah. It can't be built on even Yeshua or Yahweh. There was a dude coming in the name of Yahweh, and he was murdering people, man. As far as what I remember. Yahweh ben Yahweh, I think his name was. No other foundation, King James Version. I'll close out with this one. 1 Corinthians 3:11, it says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai," man. And if you suffocate, you know, Yahweh so-called suffocate, Yahweh Shai suppress, you know, so-called suppress that spirit, that's the spirit of prophecy. You know, you're trying to ruin the whole orchestration of what the Most High is setting up, has set up. But like, you know, of course, by the scriptures and by what the Most High promised, no man can you know, divide that or take it down. So, yeah, you can read all through the scriptures, and you know, because it says they have a men that establish their own righteousness, man, but not the righteousness of the Most High. There's a way that seems right to a man, but there are the ways of death. So if you read and continue to really be involved and engage and resonate with the spirit that is in this book that comes from the heavens of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakadash, the Holy Spirit, you're going to see that this is of men. You know, that all coming together, that's of men. And apostles have said it time before, that's why they keep mentioning the elect, man. Anyway, I'll probably get the Hebrew word of today, the elect, or something similar to it. Anyway, hopefully it was that fine. Shalom.